Hi. My name is Roberta, and I'm an addict. Hi, Roberta. It used to cost about $1,000 to get my heart to run like this. Now for free, I can get this. Does anybody else remember laying there saying, when's this sucker gonna stop? You know? But against all odds, we do recover. Frankie said, I asked Frankie how long I should speak. He said I could speak as long as I want. Thank you for letting me share. When the committee called and asked me if I would be the kick-off, what does that mean? You can be kicked off? If I would speak at this convention, I said, are you sure you really want me? I mean, I spoke at this convention last year, and I spoke in Reno last year, too. So, I mean, what's going on with the state of Nevada here? I mean, I feel like either I'm sponsoring all of you, or I'm rehearsing a fucking lounge act. Can you imagine if we had a lounge act here? Probably at the Mirage Hotel. That's a good hotel for addicts, the Mirage. You know? If you're new, when you hear about life on its own terms, it's a lie. So we could have a lounge act over at the Mirage Hotel, and we'll call it the recovery room. Can you imagine? You know, and people, you know, will book us in every night. You'll talk about what it was like, what happened, what it's like today, and people will come in by mistake, right? Say, what the fuck's going on here? They're drinking water with tattoos and tight pants. And I saw the damnedest thing. This Jewish woman was standing up there and talking about how she couldn't remember the Serenity Prayer until she had 6 months clean. And let's see what else. And how by the grace of God and the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous, she gained 60 pounds in a year and a half. And isn't it a miracle? And she took what? She did what for 23 years? You know? What for? You know? Yeah. So, well, anyway, here I am. I was going to ask, can everybody who has less than 6 months please raise your hand? Now, we know what you're thinking. And first of all, you're thinking, what the fuck are they clapping about? And I'm going to tell you, we're glad it's not us. And I want to tell you why we're glad it's not us. Because we remember how you felt. And I want to tell you something. You will not always feel this way. Against all odds, we do recover, and that includes not feeling that way all the time. Thinking that you're never going to feel that way again is one of the lies of Narcotics Anonymous. I feel that way right now, actually. The other thing that we know that you're thinking is, what the fuck am I doing here? That's not so funny, is it? You know, I mean, it's a bizarre thing to be doing. You know, when you think about what you were doing 7 months ago, sitting and still, you're going to sit here for like an hour and a half and you're not going to move. That's right away bizarre. You're sitting with people all pointing in the same direction. Nobody's making large motions. Everybody's chin is here and not here. Nobody's going like this. I was one of those. If you want to know what I looked like when I came here, I weighed a lot less than I do now, and I was doing this. They said to me, Roberta, don't erase yourself. I just couldn't feel my skin. All right? And I have no idea where I was, but there's nothing new about that. Yeah, what the fuck am I doing here? We're all pointing in the same direction. Can you imagine if we were all loaded now? Yeah. Yeah. So it's like bizarre behavior. But what happens as a result of recovery is you can think, what the fuck am I doing here, and be here anyway. You know, you show up anyway. That's an act of faith. Whether or not, you may not experience that you have faith in a power greater than yourself who can restore you to sanity, but look at me. But you can sit there and think, you know, what the fuck am I, what's going on here? You know, what the fuck, well, this woman has said fuck already 40 times. And she's supposed to be a role model. For what? It's how I relieve the pressure. You know, being an addict, I experience, you know, not life on its own terms so much as experience in certain areas like pressure. You know, I feel experience like the pressure builds up, and then I got to like do something about it. You know, what recovery is that we learn to do something about it that won't kill us. You know, but still in all, it may occur to us sometimes to do something about it. You know, about the pressure building up. That doesn't promote, you know, well-being, like saying fuck a lot. Am I alienating anybody here? Okay. Okay. All right, so rather than talk about myself, which I have no desire to do, I did use for 23 years, and I was very thin. I was probably a little taller, too. And it's being on your knees a lot grinds down the bone. You get shorter from this program. And I've been keeping track, to avoid talking about myself, which I hate to do. I've been keeping track over the last year or so of different, what I call, the lies of Narcotics Anonymous. Now, they aren't actually lies that Narcotics Anonymous tells you. They're lies that your disease tells you when you hear the stuff that comes around here and you interpret it through the disease. Because, I don't know about you, but just because you stop using doesn't mean you stop having a disease. Everybody with me on that one? Oh, newcomers, nod. That's the last nod you get in here. Okay. You know, I mean, if we get clean, then we can recover. Being clean is not recover. We get clean, then we can enter a process of recovery through living and applying and learning and experiencing and internalizing, integrating, and incorporating what? The 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous and nowhere else. Okay, so here are some of the lies. So I've been writing them down here. First of all, we think that when we come here that we're going to feel good 24 hours a day. And then, you know, we hear this thing about serenity, and we think that that's some kind of fucking state that we're going to be in 24 hours a day as a result of reading the steps of Narcotics Anonymous. We're going to be in this state called serenity 24 hours a day, and when we're new, I don't know about you, when I was new, I thought that serenity meant you feel nothing. I mean, that's what I wanted all my life. So it seemed like you could come here, it doesn't cost you a cent. You don't have to do anything illegal anymore. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to talk to those assholes anymore. And you'll feel nothing, and you'll call it feeling good. Because to us, feeling nothing is feeling good. Feeling anything is deep shit, you know? About you, right? That's not true. And what happens as a result of beginning to have a program of recovery and working on the steps with a sponsor is that we begin to have feelings. And I enjoy them very much today. And what we learn how to do is, since we don't know how to do that, we don't know how to live life on its own terms, deal with our feelings, deal with what reality, what the fuck is that? We deal with what's going on out there. We certainly know how to deal with our reaction to what's going on out there, We don't know how to deal with your reaction, somebody else's reaction to us, which we think we can manufacture, manipulate, and control and make it happen, because we're very sure that we know what everybody else is thinking, even though we don't know what we're thinking, right? Only an addict audience would laugh at that idea. Where was I? We get to learn to experience life by jamming it into the shape of the 12 steps. They will teach us how to process all that information. The stuff that's coming up from inside that we're powerless over, the stuff that's going on out there that we're powerless over, are reactions that may be, like in my case, 43 years old, that I have to what's going on now, as if, it's they come up, they're old, they're fully formed, they've never been experienced because of all the chemicals, and there they are. Here we have a 2-year-old child named Roberta trapped in a 43-year-old body, screaming, "Fuck!" Instead of, "How may I help you?" Like that.
There's no way.
Yeah. So, I don't want to scare you newcomers, but you probably don't even know what I'm talking about anyway. Serenity does not mean feeling nothing, but don't worry, you will feel, but you will have a way to process the information through practicing the steps over and over again. Okay. Then there's what I call, to moralize, the abracadabra effect. We're big on the abracadabra effect around here. When we hear like what goes on over here, we can convert it into like an abracadabra. For instance, I made a decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of God. Abracadabra, it's turned over. When I made my decision to turn, it's like that, turn my will and my life, everything was good after that. Then you feel like, if it's not, which it ain't, every single fucking thing, you got a dirty little secret and there's something wrong with you, right? Right? Feeling like you got a dirty little secret and there's something wrong with you is totally normal perception for an addict. That's the kind of thing that the steps help us deal with, that feeling. But that's also like a dope fiend idea. Okay, make a decision, turn my will and my life over. Sure, why not? Abracadabra, it's over. The whole thing, the life, the ripping, the running, the sickness, the old crap, that incredible feeling of shame, of inadequacy, of there's something wrong with me, which translates into like the specifics of I'm too stupid, I'm too ugly, I'm too fat, I'm too this, I'm too that, and everybody else knows the secret of living. It's gone because I turned it over to the care of God. We didn't want to do anything. We didn't want to work at it. We want it to be done to us. Like, do me. So that's the abracadabra step on the third effect on the third step, which is not the case. And thank God, don't work like that. What happens is the third step is a thing that we keep doing over and over again. That doesn't come natural to us. That's why we have a sponsor who says, where's the fucking third step? Work the goddamn third step. You can, you're in the middle of the insanity, you can make a decision to turn your will, which is to go, we'll take something I'm very familiar with, and eat up the entire buffet at the Golden Nugget. Okay, that's my will. I'm make a decision to turn off. I don't have to do that, because I can make a decision. Well, I don't have to do that because I believe there's a power greater than me who can restore me to sanity. That means that I don't have to act out that insanity. The disease will tell me I have to, I don't have to. I can make a decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of God. What might God's will for me be? The buffet at the Mirage? No. Right? Don't do it and leave the results to God. When I obsess and I want to go do it, and I make a decision instead to release that and surrender that and let it go, feelings are going to come up. And probably it's the feelings I was running from by starting to obsess about the buffet at the Golden Nugget. And it could be just I was pissed off a little bit, or I was a little bit hurting, or some old thing got kicked off, whatever, and I went off into the sick thinking and obsessing about something, and then I want to go off and act off, and I'm I've said it before. Who heard me in Reno? Go home and listen to the tape. And the rest of you, go out and gamble. No. I used to experience, that it was on automatic pilot, acting out on the sick self-will. And I would say to my sponsor, I'm out of control. It's out of control. And she said, it's not out of control. You are fucking in control. That's how she has to talk to me so that I can hear it. You are fucking in control. Whatever you want, you do. Then you bitch about it. In my case, we call that eat and beat. Okay. It used to be scarf and barf, but I don't do that anymore. It's now eat and beat. Moving along to the fifth step, what might the abracadabra effect be with the fifth step? Well, first we made a certain fearless moral inventory of ourselves. For our listening audience, I just winked, and in like a very dramatic way, like, who the fuck are you? But some of us do. And then we admit to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. We read this and we burn it, like it's over. That's it. It's finished. We call it wreckage of the past, and it's finished, it's over. I don't know about you, but I got a disease, not like a piece of paper. You know what I mean? And while it's true that certain things that we did, that we held on to, or certain things that happened to us that we've never spoken about, that were running our lives from the deep pit of our stomach where they were unfelt, when we begin to share and let it out, it loses some of its power over us. But if you think it's over just because you talked about it, then you think the fifth step is the last step, and it ain't. Thank God there's like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 7 more steps after that, because it ain't over. That stuff is powerful, what we did. Not maybe the specifics, I don't steal anymore. But I am fucking self-centered and self-driven. And I can destroy people and myself behind acting out my illusion of what reality is and ought to be and what I need. And fuck you. And I don't have to steal from you to do that. You know what I mean? And that shit, that impulse, and that way of looking at the world and myself and others as the enemy, that ain't over just because I did this fifth step. It ain't over because I made abracadabra and burned it. We have to move on. The abracadabra effect on the seventh step, I love this one. What could the abracadabra effect on the seventh step be? On the sixth step, we become entirely ready to have God remove our defects. You know how you feel when you see this. Yeah, this stuff is shit. I don't want this shit. It hurts, man. It's icky. I don't like anybody who's like this. So I'm going to humbly ask God to take away these shortcomings. Please, I'm humble. Take away my shortcomings. They're gone! Abracadabra, they're gone. Now what? They're not gone. What a shocker. We have a disease, not like a little disorder, That's why there's 12 steps. That's why we have to practice these principles in all our affairs. It's because we don't get it all at once, because the disease goes deep. Those character defects, we didn't come up with that shit to be mean. We didn't come up with that shit to be fucking interesting. I came up with that shit, I call myself special, because I grew up thinking I was a piece of shit, a nothing, a cipher, a zero, a fucking mistake. I felt like a loser, like I was a loser right out of the gate. There's something terminally wrong with me. And if you didn't think so, that was because you were fucking stupid. That's how I felt. You know, and I took that I'm nothing and with my and built up a phony character made out of character defects that changed I'm a piece of shit into I'm hot shit. You know? And if you don't think so, fuck you. Right. Excuse me. While you mull that over. That goes real deep. The idea, you know, some character defects do get removed, you know, like the stealing, you know, and some obvious examples of the incredible, unbelievable selfishness of the addict. Some of that goes away. We get to, you know, by just doing the stuff, taking direction and doing some of the stuff we have to do around here, like asking about the newcomers, give them your number, call up your sponsor other people. But just by that, we're already pray to a higher power, find a higher power, think about a higher power, get on your knees, we don't care if you believe. Just these very things will take us out of the holy mess and hell and torture that's ourselves. Just taking those actions is the opposite of the disease. But the character defects and the disease, it's the workings of the disease go very, very deep in us. And they don't, you know, God is too good to take all the character defects away all at once. Or he's too busy liberating Eastern Europe. I don't know. I myself, I'm going through like I'm calling it because I'm very dramatic, a crisis of the seventh step recently. You know, I don't ask God to remove all my defects of character. I don't know what the fuck they are. When they come up to me, say, hello, my name is unbelievable, you know, sick pride as it expresses itself in fucking backbiting, and that starts to kick me in my teeth and hurt me, then I have to work on a process of getting entirely ready to have God maybe remove that by, you know, I have to do work. It's no abracadabra here, you know. Abracadabra was using in the beginning. Did you notice how your abracadabra got fucked up really early and you didn't stop using? But so what? That shows how sick you are, you know. But boy, we go for the abracadabra again, right? In the sixth step, in the beginning, we can begin to ask God to help us to not act out the character defect. That's a bitch in some areas. We have to practice that, of intervening when your head says, I gotta go do that, says, you know. For me, you know, and I always say this guy from Hollywood, you know, talks about tying off at the neck. You know, eventually getting entirely ready involves practicing not just not doing it, but acting the opposite. Yeah! Because now not only can I criticize and judge and backbite that person behind their back, oh, I can barely say it. I have to be loving and caring in their front. In their face, right? So, and I have to practice that, of acting as if, you know, I'm just a human being and not a higher power. You know. And one day, after practicing that, it don't feel natural, folks. I can begin to conceive a little bit of what it might be like if I didn't have that impulse to do that backbiting and fucking criticism and all that shit. And because where does that come from? I don't just do that because I'm bored. I do that because I have, you know, because I was raised to have no self-worth. I had no self-worth. And the best that I could do, helped by my drugs, was to come up with sick pride as a substitute for self-worth. And part of the sick pride, which is at the base of most or all of our character defects, is figuring out how fucked up you are and pointing my finger at you so that I don't have to look at me and find out what's going on over here. And I don't have to feel my inadequacy and my shame, you know? Well, to conceive, to be ready to have that healed so that we don't have that over there, that's fucking unbelievable. I'm going through one of those now. Being entirely ready I mean, I'm not, getting entirely ready is a lifelong process. That's another lie in Narcotics Anonymous. Praying for the willingness. Oh, honey, I am never willing. As my sponsor said, when I used to throw up, I said, Sydney, I'm praying for the willingness to stop puking. And she said, Roberta, don't pray for the willingness, because till you'll be willing, you'll be dead. Just don't fucking do it. You know what I mean? Right. Certain ways that I think about myself, that's all attached around that no self-worth. Certain ways that I think about what I need other people to be, the way I need other people to behave so that I feel okay, what I need to hear, how I need other people to think about me, how I need to think about myself, which is low self-worth pumped up with this bullshit. And I have been and I have suddenly realized, because I was told and I got it, that is an old tape. Uh-oh. That means you can give it up. See, I thought it had to be that way. Uh-oh. And I was asked, where is your humility? Because God can help you with that. And where is your faith? Instead of holding on to that shit. I need it like this. This is fucked up. I can't deal with that way. And to come to a point to humbly ask God, I need help. I am terrified. And I'm willing to have you remove the character defects that are clustered around my no self-worth in this area. I mean, I don't even know what they all fucking are. But in that instance, I feel fear. I feel a great deal of fear. And yet, I have faith. It's going to be okay. That's another lie. Fear is an absence of faith. If you're an addict, you have fear. We work on the fear with the faith. In many times in this program, I am so grateful to say that I have had both fear and faith. I've been able to walk through my fear because I have faith, to know that it's going to be okay if I walk through it. What an addict idea. So if I have fear, I'm going to wait for the fear to go away. By the way, we don't ask God to remove feelings, newcomers, only character defects. Fear, anger, shame, pain, the feelings, we don't ask for those to be removed. Drugs remove them. God doesn't remove them. So anyway, I've been going through that, and it feels like I don't like it. I want to stay the same. But this shit is kicking me in my teeth now. And I don't want to work on it. I don't want to, no, God can remove this, because what does it mean in the seventh step? What does it mean if God would remove that? I don't know. I've been practicing it a little bit, but I can always fall back on it. Oh, it's fucked up, I don't know what it would be like to have all that shit removed around those character defects. To feel like a separate, strong human being. To not need other people to behave a certain way so that I'll feel okay. How the fuck would I know about that? But because of the sixth step, I've been practicing a little bit. And you know what? I want to continue in my recovery. You will hear many people share. You could tell when they haven't gone past the fifth step. They stop changing. They start hurting. They stay pissed off. I don't want that. I don't want that. Pray for the willingness. Fear is a lack of faith. How about this one? Let go and let God. Let go and I like that one. Roberta, let go and let God. I thought that meant you let go and you lie down. Abracadabra. And then, you don't have to do shit. You don't have to be different. You will sort of like get different, you know? And that doesn't work around here. Life on its own terms. Coming to live life on its own terms. Thank God we don't get to experience life on its own terms all at once, you know, because of the way that the disease affects our thinking. You know, it's like defective, delusionary, you know, like we know the way it is, just like I know what you think about me now, and I'm going to fucking kill every one of you. Through working the steps, little by little, we come to perceive life on its own terms. And for us, that ain't easy. You know, the way that the addict deals with that is, I wrote this down, FTSIOH. Fuck this shit, I'm out of here. Fuck out of here, man. You know, you're somewhere, you know, you don't like, it's a little like this, you know, feelings start to come, fuck this, I'm out of here. That's why it's a miracle anybody who's sitting here. Fuck this, I'm getting out of here. You know, you're in a relationship, it's starting to get a little like, you know, this is like, maybe there's a little anger. Fuck this shit, I'm out of here. I was very good at walking. I never ran, I walked. I start to, you know, I stop acting out on the disease the way it plays out in my life. I get direction to stop doing that. The feelings start to come up. Fuck this! I'm going to act out on it again. Fuck this! I can't deal with this shit. What is it? Pain! Fuck this! You get clean to feel no fucking pain. You know? Meantime, if I don't act out on it, within 45 seconds, or, 3 minutes, it's gone. I mean, I have an attention span of a gnat. It's gone. But tell that to an addict when they're in the middle of fuck this shit, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Because now walking, running, and getting out becomes the order of the day, and running from what's going on in here, right? Fuck this shit, I'm out of here is what the attitude that happens right before you run or you fix it. If you think that this is a program about drugs, I'm glad you're not my sponsor. You're in denial. Because I didn't need to take nothing to fix me. I could just do it up here and go la la bye bye, I'm out of here. One of the ways I do it is by, I experience human beings in general as a pressure. They're like annoying. You know what I mean? And people I have to deal with in my life, it's like, I feel like I have third-degree burns. Like this. I have 6.5 years clean, very attractive, and I have a very good program. The only way I can deal with you is when you're all there and I'm over here, like this, is very relaxed. Mull that one over. What was... Oh, yeah. So, one of the ways of dealing with that discomfort is blaming it all on you. Everything, is becoming totally obsessed and focused with what's wrong with you. I spent my entire third year like that. My spine, it was very, very painful. I was powerless over it. All my anger of all those years came up. And I would wake up in the morning and, fuck that, like that, with indictments and sentences and, and executions and constant screaming and yelling in my head about that, what she should, and fuck them and the whole corporation and the people in New York, and unreal, And I couldn't, and I even sort of knew that it had nothing to do with me. And it kept me frozen in the disease. And I wasn't willing to do something to look at myself, to stay with my own feelings. At that time, I was into what I call attack eating and projectile vomiting. Oh, somebody said. Yeah. Now, how sick do you have to be to regard that as a fix? Right? Just have to be an addict. So if you think that this is about drugs, nobody in here, or just about nobody in here used today, we ain't cured. That's the message. It's not just about doing what we have to do so that we don't use again, because when we use, we are going to die. That's one part. The most incredible thing, against all odds, is that not only do we get clean, we fucking recover. We don't use, we work the steps, we enter into this program of recovery, and we actually get better. That's amazing. I mean, for us, it's amazing to not use. I mean, that's fucking amazing. And our lives get incredibly better, for a certain amount of time because of that. But we get healing here in all areas of our lives if we apply the steps. I haven't talked about myself yet, right? Thank God. Okay. All right, so if you think the drug is cunning, baffling, and powerful, you're in denial because I am. It's this over here, under my hair, that's cunning, baffling, and powerful and out to get me. That's the nature of the disease and the thinking process. Does that mean I'm finished? No. I don't know. Anyway, there's all these, the last one, well, I'll finish with these, but the other ones was, you newcomers, if you hear somebody say this, you may have heard somebody say this: you can do anything you want as long as you don't use. It's a lie. It'll kill you. Okay. If you want to know what you shouldn't do, talk to your sponsor, do your inventory, and ask God to help you. Oh, I left off on abracadabra. The last abracadabra is the 11th step, which the way we hear, certainly the way I heard it, I thought, they might as well have said, we sought through prayer and medication to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for Him, power to carry that out. I thought somehow I was going to get perfect knowledge of God's will. If I hung around long enough, listened to you with the tattoos, I'm going to get perfect knowledge of God's will. I'm going to only do God's will, and then I'll never do any of that icky shit, and it's going to be okay. Abracadabra. I'm going to know God's will. Wrong. I can't know God's will. You know why? I'm not God. That's the message of Narcotics Anonymous. I don't have to be the center of the universe today. I don't have to be my own higher power. I was my own higher power for 36 and a half years. It worked good for a certain amount of time. Then the fucking fell apart. And, when you have an addict for being a higher power, you're in trouble because an addict is self-destructive, right? So, I don't know about you, but I don't want a God like that. And that's the end of the lies of Narcotics Anonymous. Okay, so who did I see in Reno last year? I want to tell you what's happened since then. Hi. Okay. What did I share about? Well, I'll share about two things. Does anybody believe I'm not an addict? I'll talk to you later. First of all, one of the things that's happened since last summer is I've lost 37 pounds, but that's now 32 because I went on a run yesterday in order to be able to speak for you. I'll tell you how that worked. I was in the car, I was going home, and my head went, it goes like this, it leans a little over to the left. The juicy part dumps over to the side. The wall of denial goes up, so it's separate. It's not contaminated by the recovery part over here. And it speaks, and it says, go eat your ass off. And you all know about the I wanna, I got, I'm gonna, right? Does everybody know that one? The addict thinking, it's just like automatic. I wanna turns right into I gotta, and then it's I'm gonna. I wanna, I'm gotta, I'm gonna. Hey, I wanna go, I gotta go. And I did it. Now, because I have a certain amount of recovery and experience working the steps, this still speaks. So this is exactly what happened in the car. I want to go to Quinn's and spend $40 on immediately eatable groceries. Okay, I said, I want to, and the car's going like this. I say, I want to go do that, you know, and it is, don't do that. Who said that? It's the voice of God. Fuck you! No, seriously, Roberta, you don't have to go do this. You know, you haven't done this for a while, you don't have to go do it. But I'm going to go do it! And I did it. And I gained 5 pounds in one day. And I felt like shit, and I had a hangover this morning. And because today, you know, I turned it over, or I, you know, and I ate a lot, man. I ate a lot. I tell you, I had to get horizontal because today it said, I'm gonna throw up. No, you're not. Okay. I got that one. You know, I understand with puking that 1 is too many and 1,000 never enough. And I also understand with me with puking, 1 puking, and I'm into incomprehensible demoralization, and I'm pre-suicidal. So I don't do that. And I'm still fucking with the other thing, right? So I had to get horizontal. So, you know, it was like, what if I, like, automatic vomit? Does that count? And I was like, you fucking keep your mouth shut. You hold that down, motherfucker. You know? What did I dream about? So, but we're getting a handle on that. And, it's the same disease. I don't have to go anywhere else and sit next to fat people to learn how to deal with this. Do you hear me? I don't have to go and sit with the pukers to learn how to not puke. I have to work the 6th and 7th step. I don't have to sit and hear how other people eat. That's not the issue. It's not about food. It's about the disease of addiction. When I'm sitting in the fucking car and I'm scared about coming to Las Vegas and speaking to you people, it's about fucking fixing. It's about fixing me and doing me. Do me. It's about not having the faith to say no. Don't do that. And go through the feelings, which is fear. You know? It's going on a disease run, which is taking the fear straight into anger and then going for the fix. I don't have to hear how people eat. I have to work the steps of Narcotics Anonymous on it. The steps don't talk about drugs. They talk about the disease of addiction. That's what I have. Because of these steps, I'm experiencing recovery in many, many areas of my life. That one too. And it ain't about food, and it's not about fat. It's about the fix. It's about not turning it over. It's about not having faith. It's about, and in that instant, in that moment, not having the faith and humility to say, please help me. I am insane now. I need help on this one now. You know, I stopped smoking 4 packs of Cools a day that way. So I have faith and hope that I can experience recovery more in this area too. You know, that I won't need to like hold on to the disease quite so hard when I experience life on its own terms. Thinking that I have to fix me. I'm gonna fuck you. You know, and fuck me. Yeah, fuck me. You know, what addict do you know but doesn't think, fuck me. Fuck me. You know, right? Or I wrote down here that I'm going to design a new bumper sticker for us. I'll stop tomorrow. Right? You want to know what part of you that came from, the disease or the recovery? Stay, we'll talk after. Another change in my life since I saw you in Reno is that I have a boyfriend. And I've been vulnerable. And it's very difficult. And it's a miracle. You know, when you think about it, it's a miracle for 2 addicts to be not destroying each other, to be not blaming and assaulting each other. You know what I mean? And I am aware that when that happens, that God is at work, because my normal MO in that area is to destroy. It's to act out on all those old tapes that caused me to have 9,000 relationships, because I had to keep walking, because it wasn't going the way I wanted, because the way I wanted would have destroyed it. So I had to go destroy it. And if you're new, I don't recommend it. Go gain 60 pounds first. I said before, the disease goes deep, but so does the recovery. I mean, we're talking about God here. When we talk about those lies and those misconceptions, it's because we come in here, our thinking doesn't change right away. We think, we hear, it says recovery, but we think root canal. Somebody's going to go in and go, and it's over, right? Or roto-rooter. It's gone. Just because we want it that way. We want it. We read the thing, what does it look like to be normal? Yeah, I want that. Not enough, we don't. And also, because of the denial, we don't see everything that's wrong. We don't see all the fucked behavior. I mean, it's obvious. You're sticking your fist down your throat and projectile vomiting down the disposal. It's not, what's wrong with this picture, But we don't see all the ways that we push people away. We don't see all the ways that we interpret reality according to the disease. Try to torture reality into the shape of the sick thinking. We don't see all those ways. Our sponsors tell us, we hear others share and it sounds sick, and then say, oh, I do that too. But we can't make ourselves recover. We can't give ourselves recovery. We can't will ourselves to recover. Thank God it's not that simple. It's not like dyeing your hair. It's not like losing 10 pounds. It goes deeper. We come here sick and hurting. And for many of us like me, I didn't even fucking know I was hurting. I had an idea about how damaged I was, but I couldn't feel the hurt. I had maybe a little conception that I was terrified out there, but I couldn't feel the fear. But it's okay, because A, we don't do it alone. We don't walk down the road by ourselves anymore. We have help in each other, in our literature, with our sponsors and the people we sponsor. We get to practice living like human beings. And the most amazing thing is, in this holy endeavor called Narcotics Anonymous, there's a power greater than all of us put together who helps us if we get out of the disease and down that road that's marked out by the steps. We act different by virtue of the steps, and God can get in there and help us and heal us. It does happen. I'm here to tell you, in spite of what I did, no matter who you are, no matter what you did, no matter how much you used, no matter how long you used, against all odds, you can recover. We do recover. Thank you for letting me share.